Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Box Score Sports YouTube channel. On this clip, we are going to continue our NBA season previews with the Memphis Grizzlies. Before Clint and I give our thoughts and predictions about the Memphis Grizzlies, let us know down in the comments below what are your thoughts about their season. And also, if you want to know how we felt about their offseason, go ahead and check out. We have videos by division of how we felt about each team's offseason. You can go check that out. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, Clint, let's get into the Grizzlies' predictions for their season preview. Last year, they finished 48 and 34. They were eighth in the West. They lost that series to the Thunder in the first round. They re-signed Jared Jackson Jr. They added KCP, Ty Jerome. I think those two are kind of solid players. And the big trade, they lost Kennard, but they also traded away Desmond Bane, which was the big trade. And then they drafted that Cedric Coward. So, Clint, going into the season, what are you most looking forward to the Grizzlies, or what would you say is their biggest strength?
I think this is another team that gets it done on defense. They usually have quite a bit of versatility, size, and ability to just lock you down. Maybe that changes a little. KCP, good defender, a little older compared to Desmond Bane, but he still gives you that prototype that they kind of look for, defensive-minded. Hopefully his shot comes back.
Right.
But I would say this team is built on defense and then expanding from there.
Yeah, I think also too, agreed. I also think their depth is pretty good. Like if you're gonna you can play Ty Jerome with Morant and KCP, so there's a little bit of versatility. They drafted that Coward guy. We'll see if he can play right away. Edey's injured right now, but once he gets back, that adds to your big man depth with Adama. I know I'm not saying it right, like it's not coming out of my mouth right, but you guys know who I'm saying. And Triple J and Gigi Jackson is back. Brandon Clark is still on he's still on the team, but he's not showing, so he must be injured. So, but once he comes back, Scottie Pippen Jr., really like him. I think that's a good guard rotation player. So I do also, along with their defense, I do like the depth of their team as well.
Yeah, they throw a lot of different things at you, a lot of different looks, and it helps them. You think of their record last year, 48 wins in the West, and they dealt with some injuries. So their depth really helps them survive if John Morant misses, if Jaren Jackson misses. We'll find out now without Zach Edey. So that tenacity and that system really, keeps them above water.
Yeah, agreed. Do you know how long do you know how long Edey's out for? Six to 9 weeks, actually. Okay, so
Yeah.
I got the answer to that. Okay. And then Brandon Clark is also going to be reevaluated in 6 weeks. So when it was September 28th. So both these individuals may be ready to go by the time season starts. So that's a possibility for both of them. Okay, give me your weakness for the Grizzlies, the thing that you're least looking forward to.
Well, they do struggle with injuries, which we
Yes.
kind of just talked about. I do worry without Zach Edey, their rebounding
Mm.
and interior, like Aldama is fine.
That's how you say it.
Yeah,
Eldama.
he can shoot a little bit, basically 37% from three, like 6 rebounds. But like Jaren Jackson, as much as like you would hope he could be a 5, he doesn't rebound he averages like 5 rebounds a game. So I just worry a little bit without Zach Edey, that thighs inside. And if you remember from last year, not a huge fan of Zach Edey. He kind of plays a role, but this is a team that role fits with. So without him going into the season, if he's going to miss a few weeks, and with, again, another big man injury, I do worry a little bit about being able to shore it up inside and getting some boards.
Yeah, that's a good one actually. I think that's a fair. Do you know? I should have looked this. I'm looking it up right now, guys. Hold on. Even with Clark is only a five. He only averaged 5 rebounds a game. So even with him out there, it's not, the rebounding is scarce in your power forward spot between Clark and triple Triple J. So yeah, that especially if Edie's injured and because he's a big dude too, it's like it's hard to depend on him being healthy just by the history of the NBA and with big guys. So that's a good one. I put playoffs. That's sort of the weakness I have for them is like I just don't know if this team is like built for sustained success in the playoffs. I think this is going to be a team, and we'll get into predictions, but where the regular season they might look like fun and they'll win a lot of games, but then when you get to the playoffs and everything kind of slows down, they've shown they've already struggled even with someone like Desmond Bain on their team. So that's the thing that I think I put as their weakness is I just don't know if this is like a playoff built team, like that they're going to be able to slug it out against the Thunder or the Rockets or the Nuggets. And really when you have Ja at his age and Jaren Jackson at his age, you wish that they're contenders at this point, and I just don't think they're there. So I think that's kind of a big weakness. I think like the regular season may even, if everybody stays healthy, it may fool us into thinking they might be better, and then when you get to the playoffs, it might be a little bit of a struggle.
Yeah, and I mean they show flashes. I believe. I mean they got swept by the Thunder, but there was 2 games where it was close. I believe last
The
year
last two,
where
they were blowing them out right before Morant got injured.
yeah. So I do think there's something to the Grizzlies that is kind of like maybe your numbers don't show, maybe your eye test doesn't catch up on because it's not pretty at times. But I do think as much as it seemed that I don't want to say Desmond Bain like wore out his welcome. He was a good player. I do think there is a difference between Desmond Bain and KCP. Even though I think KCP will be better than he was in Orlando. I think we might see it more this year that you tend to right like it looks good and then in the playoffs you're like okay good story but it's not a contending team.
Yeah, that's like, and it's a bummer because I like Ja. I think he's fun to watch, and I just don't know if this team is ready to be a contender right now with him. Okay, let's go to your biggest question you have for the Grizzlies going into the season.
I just think it's John Morant.
Hmm.
It just he's 26. He has the greatest birthday, August 10th. Uh, but so he's just 26, which isn't old, but he's got a lot of injuries on him, and he plays a certain way, and we've kind of seen it at times last year fall off. The crazy dunks. He can still pull them out, which he does, but I think in the back of his head, it's kind of starting to catch up with I'm jumping this high. Where am I landing, or who am I landing on? So I just
Or
think,
who's taking me out from underneath, like
yep,
Dort.
right,
Yeah.
yep, yep, very true. So I just think where are they at with John Morant? They had the off the court stuff. Maybe that's improved a little. Maybe it hasn't. We'll see. I think he's kind of the linchpin of what this team is. This what they're going to rebuild around these two, Morant and Jaren Jackson, or are they going to have to move on? Whether it's a decline, whether it's an attitude thing, whether injuries keep piling up, because they can survive without John Morant, which we've seen over the last few years. But there's a difference between surviving it and actually getting to the level where you can then contend.
Right. And that sort of goes into my question, which is what is their ceiling with this team? Because again, you said Josh 26, Jaren Jackson, he's 25, 26, right? Yeah, 26. So they're at the point where it's like you want to see them being on teams that are contending, especially with the injuries that they both deal with. Like, how much longer will we see prime John Morant? Sometimes with the athletic guards who are small, it like falls quickly, like especially when they hit their 30s. So you want this team to compete, and I don't know what the ceiling of this team is. I don't think it's where you want it to be as a contender. And like you said, can they even get to that with them paying Morant and Triple J what they are, being the two guys that you're building around, can they get to that point with the roster the way it is and so on? I think the answer to that is no, but I think it's a big question that I'm willing to allow be answered as the season goes on, because who knows? Maybe they found something with some of these players that they got around them. They got a lot of depth, and I like that. But it's just I don't like if you're not going anywhere, then why, if you're not going to contend, why keep the team together? That's really what it comes down to me. Like, trade, blow it up, whatever, pick between Jaren Jackson Jr. and John Morant, and then kind of move on from there. But, again, this team's super fun. I don't want it to come to that, but it could. It could.
Yeah, and it's difficult, being here in Wisconsin, like a small market, hard to
Yes.
pull the plug. John Morant, again, he's really popular, not just in the NBA, but especially in Memphis. And it's hard to pull the plug on that when you don't know you don't know what's behind that other door. Is it going to be like, oh, cool, 5 years of being fringe
Utah
play-in
Jazz.
team?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
or whatever. Yeah,
You don't want to. You have Jaren Jackson, and maybe you could get something but you hate to just pull the plug and not have something behind that second door. So I get the challenge, and again, I hope it works out because, like you said, they are a fun team. They do play a unique style of basketball, which is a little different than a lot of teams. So hopefully it works out.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, what would you constitute for them having a successful season in your mind? What's a successful season to you for the Grizzlies?
I think for them, I hate to say it, but it's like health, like
Mm.
getting Zach Edey back, getting Jaren Jackson, a full season. Hopefully, John Morant can hang in there because I think if you have health, then I think you can improve. Again, 48 wins is good, and they were a play-in team. But I think if you can say when Edey comes back, if he can stay healthy, and the rest of the team can, I think you can, move up into the lower levels of the actual playoff bracket, not having to be in that playoff game. So I think that would constitute success because, I mean, obviously, if they're healthy, it leads to more wins. But that's kind of like their linchpin of their ceiling for their team.
Yeah, I think making the playoffs would be a success. Like, I'm not talking about the play-in, I'm talking about like the top six teams. That would be a success. But even just finding a third guy. So you got rid of Desmond Bane, but you have a lot of youth like that Coward guy, Jalen Wells. He's a 6'8". He shoots 35% last year from three. He was a second round pick. Can he take another step? If you find somebody that can like just be that third guy, I would be more convinced that like, okay, this is a real team that you can, compete with some of these better teams. I think that could add some success because even if it doesn't show up this year, if you see a big leap from Edie or Wells or Coward, like you can convince yourself, especially next year, okay, now we're in a position, let's just tweak the roster a little bit. We're in a position to contend with some of these other teams. So that to me would be a successful season for them as well.
Yeah, if any team gets the benefit of the doubt as far as developing players, it's Memphis. They've
Oh,
done it quite
100%.
well.
Yeah, agreed. Um, Prediction for the Grizzlies.
Again, I think this is a Western Conference thing. They were what, the 8th seed last
With
year?
48 wins.
Yeah, with 48 wins, right? Yeah, I mean, so and again, the difference between the 8 and the 3 seed was 2 games. So I think it's going to be tight again. I just think based on their injury history, I'm going to go with play-in again, like a high-end play-in team, like that 7-8 seed.
Yeah, and just remember too that I think there was one month left in the season and they were in the top four seeds, right? Weren't they like two or three? And then they just had a bad month and then they fell all the way to eight, but it was only a 2 game difference, right? So like I think I have them a fringe play-in playoff team. Like we're gonna do a big probably prediction podcast where we pick all the play-in playoff and contenders, but they're definitely in my mind like between that 8 and 6 seed, somewhere in between there, or 8 and 5th. Yeah.
I would
Okay.
agree.
Anything else on the Grizzlies?
I don't think so.
Okay, thanks so much, Clint. Thanks so much, everybody else, for watching. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and let us know in the comments down below what your thoughts are on the Grizzlies season coming up, where we were right, where we were wrong. I'm sure some Grizzly fans will say we're wrong about a lot. That's okay. We'll take it all. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll talk to you guys real soon. Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.